What is up, guys? My name is Royce Chamberlin, and today I'm going to tell you why the Canon R6 is the worst camera that you can buy. That's right, you heard me correctly. If you know me, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I make videos about filmmaking and about filmmaking equipment. But today I'm going to tell you why the Canon R6 specifically is the worst camera. And it's for one specific particular reason. It has a lot of other features that are great and desirable. And if you were just looking at the specs, you'd say, hey, this is a great camera. I'm gonna buy it just like I did. And then you will soon find out the treacherous, dark path that you've put yourself down by purchasing this annoying piece of dog dookie. And I'll tell you why. But first, I'll tell you about the good stuff to kind of make this a compliment sandwich, I guess. It is a 4K mirrorless camera. So no mirror is inside of here. It's just a little screen that you can look at. It's nice. I have no issues with that. It shoots 4K 60. It's got dual SD card slots. That's something, if you saw my Canon R video, the original R, I love that camera. It does have drawbacks as well, but that only has one SD card slot. I'm currently filming on a Canon C70 that also has two SD card slots, and that's been it's a nice feature to have. It's been helpful at times. So it shoots 4K 60. It shoots 1080p 120. Those are, again, desirable. Like you're reading this, you're like, hey, this is a great camera. It's got eye track focusing, which is my Canon C70 is doing that for me right now. It's tracking my eyeball, so that's nice. It's got great autofocus. Image quality is great, can shoot in high frame rates, incredible stuff. Dual SD card slots. Quick drawback, doesn't have that many ports. It has the most annoying HDMI port in the world. I've talked about this before. It's so stinking annoying. It is the smallest. It's like the HDMI micro. There's like normal full-size HDMI. Love that on cameras. Has it on my Canon C70. Talking a lot about the C70. If you want to purchase the C70, links in description. If you want to watch my video about the C70, click right there. There's a full size. There's the mini, which is just a smaller, flatter one, which is what the R has. And then there's this absolute, like, atrocious little tiny HDMI port that just only works half the time. It's so small, breaks so easily. It's got a USB Type-C. It's got a remote port if you're doing photography. We don't do that around here. We just do the video stuff because that's cool. It has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and mic jack. Whatever, it's fine. It does come standard with the Canon RF mount. I do have a Canon EF adapter on here that comes with the extra function wheel, which I have this for a couple of my cameras. I just set it to like the ISO or something. And it does have a very impressively high ISO, I will say. If you remember, or if you clicked this button and watched my C70 video, it went up to like 100 and something thousand ISO. That's crazy. It's insane. You'll never need that much ISO. You can basically see in the dark with it. This camera, however, has an ISO range from 100 to 102,000. Expandable to 204,000. 204,000 ISO. 100 to 204,000. That is a lot. Now you're listening to all these features. I've been rambling on about how good this camera is, has all these little things. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want you guys to buy this. I'm not even going to link it in the description. You've got all these great features, all these nice things that you like about it, all these little buttons and ports and cool things, 4K, 1080p, 120. But then you realize you literally can't shoot anything with it because it overheats after like 10 minutes. I'm talking indoors. I'll film indoors and 20 minutes later, this guy's overheating. Brick turns off, okay? I'll put a dummy battery in it, which rather than having the little battery that's supposed to go in here that gets hot, take that out, you put a dummy battery in. It's essentially 99% just plastic, and it's a cable that runs out, and that's where all the energy source is coming from. So it's not like internal, it's not getting hot. Even with that, it'll overheat. You basically just can never film outside with this thing. It'll start smoking on you. Not literally, but basically, it might as well be. And indoors, warm, like if it's 73 degrees inside, room temp, maybe a little bit warmer, it'll overheat almost instantly. The only case that this camera has worked appropriately for me is when I was in a room that was like 62 degrees because we had lights on and we wanted to keep it cool, and it kept it cool. It kept it at 62 degrees and the camera worked just great. Unless you're filming in Antarctica, this camera will brick and not work for you. They do have, let me just say this, you can get this camera on Amazon pre-owned or B&H or somewhere else for like 1,600 bucks. Honestly, not worth it in my opinion, just because of how annoying it is to have to sit there and take the battery out and wait and swap the battery for a cold one. So you can never use the battery to its full life because it's gonna brick on you and catch fire, okay? But there is a R6 Mark II, and that camera is a bit more impressive. It's about $1,000 more. You can film in 6K. A lot of these cameras, it's like, they come with every internal feature that you can ask for. The only place that it gets like, oh, I wish I had more nowadays is like with the ports. I wish I had like a full-size XLR, full-size HDMI, CFast card input instead of SD card. You know, so the features aren't what concerns me. It's the actual like practicality of it, is where it doesn't have any vents, nowhere to excrete heat or anything like that, or to cool off. Doesn't have any fans built in it. My C70 has vents and fans, and it's great. It's never overheated. I've used it in a lot of different environments, hot, cold, all the above, whatever's in between hot and cold, I guess, normal. But this camera, not. I pretty much only use this camera for sit-down interviews as like a third or fourth camera. Second, you know, looks great, image looks great, but even in those scenarios, I'm watching this thing like a hawk, so now I'm limited on time until I have to wait. I want to sell this, I want to get rid of this, I want to buy another Canon R or something else, R5, R6 Mark II even. Again, shoot 6K. You'll never use the filming in 6K, but it can do it. But this camera has just been so unreliable for me. That's that one feature, and this has been exhausted upon as far as conversation. You can look on Reddit. Everywhere will tell you that this camera sucks because it overheats. That's the one thing. If there was an update that caused something to not get as hot, I don't know if that's even possible, but if there was something that they could do to make this camera usable, there should have been a recall on this camera. I'll send it back to you. Give me a new one, okay? Just fix the problem. Instead, they just came out with another camera that's $1,000 more, that does a little bit more and doesn't overheat. Yay! That should be standard, I think. Anyways, that's it. This video is basically just me ranting about how annoying that is, and I deal with it often. Again, filming a sit-down interview in a controlled environment, this sucker overheats. It has all the features. There's everything you'd want in the camera, except it gets a little too hot, and that's where it'll screw you over, for sure. So again, there's a lot of other camera recommendations that I have. I'll do more in the future. If you want to see my Canon C70 video or my Canon R video, they're on my channel. You should click subscribe. That would be something really nice for you to do. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos. Whatever. Thanks for watching. Peace.